Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm your friend in Saxo. Today we are going to learn a new lesson from the Unity tutorial, which is called Bonus Features 5. Share your work. It's just another creative lesson. So basically, we have to go through this kind of thing totally by ourselves. This tutorial outlines 4 potential bonus features for a quickly collect prototype at varying levels of difficulties: easy, medium, hard, expert. Here, what the prototype could look like if you complete all the 4 features. So basically, he's asking us to accomplish this kind of game. So let's get started. Let's say easy leaves UI. Create the leaves UI element that counts down by 1 when an object leaves the bottom of the screen and triggers game over when leaves reaches 0. So basically, at the beginning, we have a leave of 3, and when it comes to 0, the game over. Basically, this is what we get for now. If I choose the easy part, we have something like this, and we can collect around for those boxes. Yeah. And if we get some falling kind of thing, the game would be over, and of course we could restart it again. Okay, that's the thing. Let's go to the game manager. Okay, I just want to know when the game over happened. So let's go to the target. So here we go. Whenever this game object target rigid body came across a game object with a tag of bad, we say the game over. In other words, if the good game object, if you ask me what is good, let's go to the profile. This one is good, this one is good, this one is good, but this is bad. So whenever a good stuff on trigger enter, this is a code inside of the target.cs, and the target is this script is attached to one of the objects, and when this object triggered let's say a sensor has a box collector, and it is a trigger. Okay, if you ask me what is a trigger, it's just a line of it's just a line. I don't know if you noticed it or not. Here's a green line. So whenever the goods let me just play this game. When the good stuff reach the green line, it will be destroyed immediately, and the game would be over. And so for this case, what we are going to do is create another table. The previous one is called score text, And for now, we are going to do a duplicate, and I'm going to call it leave text. And of course, it should be at the upper right corner with a text of leaves. Okay, now we could play our game again. As you can see now, for the right top button or on the top right side or on the top right corner, we got a text called leaves. That's great, but for now it got no numbers. That's what we are going to fix. Before we fix it, first we are going to know where the score text comes from, how we made changes to such a label. So now I basically knows where the score number was uploaded from. So at the inside of the game manager.cs script, inside of that script we got updated score function, and from this function, of course, inside of this class we got an object of text message pro GUI. This is a text object, and inside of this function, what we did is to update the text arguments inside of that text object by doing something like this. And in the other hand, inside of the target.cs, whenever we successfully had the right objects, then we upload that score. So for this kind of requirement to count the leaves, we shall at first create a variable called leaves, and at the beginning should have three. You should have 3 leaves at the beginning. Then we are going to create a function called update leaves. For this one, for every time when we call it, we just to say leaves minus 1. We just want to minus 1, and in the end we say, of course, we want to also have another object called leave text. So we want to say leave text, that text equal to leaves with the leaves to string. So this is basically the functions. Then we are going to copy this function or call this function whenever we have successfully missed one. So that will be game manager that update leaves. Of course, we have to also do a count. We're gonna say if GameObject that leaves o. So in that case, we probably want to do something like this. We want to make this variable public so that we can access from another script. And for now, we could probably say game manager that leaves if this kind of thing less or equal to 0. Then we say game over. And inside of the game restart or the restart again, some kind of thing like that, we need to reset the leaves to 3 and do an update for the leaves, or maybe we can set it to 4. Then when we minus 1 for it, we would get 3, and that's probably what we need. Okay, for now, if we play this game, start from the easy, we get some error because I didn't say the leaves with a number, so we shall at least set a set an initialized number for it. So for here, I guess the initialized kind of thing should be put it inside of the start again. Okay, now if we play it again, come on, we still get an error. Oh, now I got it. It's not working because we didn't actually send the leave text into the right public variables. Now, if I play this game again, you will see, let's hit the easy button. You will see at the beginning the left equal to 3, and if we missed someone, it will go down generally, and if it goes to 0, the game is over. Okay, so basically this is a implementation for this task. Now we go on. The next one is median music volume. Add background music and a UI slider element to adjust the volume. Background music adds a lot of energy to a game, but not everyone likes it, so it's good to give people the option to lower the volume. Let's have a look at the final results or the outcomes. So basically, what he did is to add a slider, and we could be able to use that kind of widget to change the volume. So here I just right-click to the hierarchy window, and I'm gonna choose UI slider. Now we got a slider, and for this slider, I'm gonna say volume slider. Okay. Then we need to change the position for it for a little bit. So let's just move it to somewhere else. Oh, that's not a good idea. So how can I actually move this? Okay, we could do something like this. Okay, now suppose that this is our volume. We don't need to add a volume tag out there because that looks ugly and probably not necessary for the practice. Then we need to actually find out how can I use this kind of stuff. One thing I know is that probably we should first register it inside of the game manager script. So I just register a slider, and by giving the name, let's say volume slider. Then I'm going to drag the value slider to that public variable, and after that, let's go back to our script. From there, we can do some experiment. We could say volume slider dot. Here we get a lot of functions. We probably could get its value or something like that. Oh, okay. let's for now forget about it. Since we will be using it to control our volume, the problem is, do we really have a music at the background? Of course, no. We do not have a music at the background. Let's go back and see if we have such a scene. Here we got some sound field. We got all sorts of things. Can we play one of them? Okay. So for this case, we do not have a background music. We need to download one from the network. Alright, I choose this one. So I'm gonna create a music folder, and inside of this folder, I'm gonna put this song into it. Now we got it right here. I'm gonna rename it for a little bit. Beyond the Sky. Okay, now we get the music file. The problem is, how can we actually play it? Audio listener. From my old post, I said that we need an audio listener. But do we really have that? Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. We got an audio source. If we add it right in here, that's just something like this. Okay. We got an audio source. For this audio source, we could probably drag the audio clip into it. The output, I don't think we need to do anything else. Okay, so for now, if I play that again, we would immediately get the music play. Yeah, it's good. But we need to control it, alright? So if we want to control it, we better go back to our game manager and try to create a new component for it. And for that component, it should be audio source. I don't know if that's right or not. So I'm gonna say public audio source with audio source as its lane, and we drag the audio source into it. After that, let's do a test. Audio source that we could call the play function. We can probably also set the value. Okay, let's do a test. For example, now if we set this value to 0, and in other words, if we start again, we shall hear nothing. Yes, of course. But now if we set it to, let's say, 0.5, for now, if we start again, we should still hear something. Okay, so this is how we set the value. This command or this thing will take a value from 0 to 1. and which also means that let's say we shall set the value slider. We shall set the minimum value to 0 and the max value we're gonna set it to 1.0. And after that, we shall add a listener to it on value changed. So this is very important. We need to do this bounding, but to be honest, I don't know how to do that kind of bounding, so I'm gonna do a search. Okay, here we go. This is the line of the code. Let's say on value changed, we add a listener. For this listener, it's gonna call function. How about we just say audio source that value equal to the value slider dot value. As I guess that could be able to work. Now, if I drag this kind of thing to the master right side, we would hear the max value. But if we drag it back to the most left side, we hear nothing. As we go right, the sound goes louder and louder. So this is basically how we use this kind of UI components to change the value of our game. So we have finished this kind of feature. Let's go on. Hard pause meaning. During gameplay, allow the user to press a key to trigger between pausing and resuming the game, where a pause screen comes up while the game is paused. Okay, this kind of feature is brand new. To be honest, all those series inside of this video is totally new. I have never seen I have never seen those features in the tutorial, so we have to probably explore it by ourselves or do a search by ourselves to be able to solve those kind of problems. So let's just do a search. Okay, here's basically they said this is the simplest way to do that kind of job, which is we define two functions, pause game and resume game. And for this kind of case, we probably need to, inside of the update kind of thing, we need to have a listen at the inputs of something like that. So if we get the button of space, we call the pass game. We probably need to have a state here. We say private boolean value. So if game passed, we resume the game. Else we pass again. Alright, fair enough, we are fucked. Because this UI stuck again, and I probably didn't save all those stuff that I created. That could be a problem. Alright, we still get the game that we have. We didn't lose anything. For now, we probably want to go on. For example, if we play this kind of game, and if we press the space key, nothing happens. Why? So instead of get button, we should say get key down. Now we run this game again, and when we press the space key, it stops, and when I press the space key again, it runs again. So this is how we make it work, you know, time stop or something like that. The only problem is that here, this slide should be gone when the game started. So when the game started, we should say value slider dot set visible or something like that. I don't know if we got it all right. Yeah, I'm gonna say is active to false. And clearly we shouldn't do that. How about set active? guess I know where the problem comes from. We should probably say enable the equal to false at the beginning. Then when we let's say when the game is over, we shall say the enabled to true. Now if we go back to our game, let's restart this. For now we got this slider visible. Now if I press the easy, it's still visible, but we cannot change it anymore. So the enabled kind of thing is not appropriate for us in here. So variant .slider.GameObject.set active, we should set it to when the game over. We should set it to true. But when game started, we should set the active to false. Now, if I run this game, the slider is gone. But let's say when the game is over, you will see the slider appears again. So that's great. That's exactly what we want. So I mark this task finished, since we already have the pause and resume functionality. The file task export click and swap. Program click and swap functionality instead of clicking, generating a throw where the mouse has been dragged. This does make the game easier, so you might also want to increase the gameplay difficulty on all levels if you implement this. Yeah, to be honest, this is quite hard. I have no idea how to accomplish this. Okay, before we get into there, the most probably the thing that we need to care about is how actually we did the detection of here we go, on mouse down. On mouse down. Oh, that's a simple effect. Nothing fancy about it. But for this kind of thing, it's more complicated. So far, we know that this function could be used to convert the screen mouse position to the word point. But even if we get the word point, we still don't know how to apply it to that kind of object. Okay, I guess let's say this one is a little bit hard, and I do not think that we shall implement this here. And let's say for now, what we want to do is first we save it, and we want to export it to somewhere else. Save as. We can save it as a Unity packaging. Let's say test2, and we save it. Okay. Inside of that, we got two files called hi.unity. That's probably what we need. we need to drag them into upload the media, images, or video files that's acceptable. So let's create a screenshot for it. Okay. After that, let's say we could save that as an image and drag it down to here. Crazy again. Private, just for me. I made it. Save and preview submission. Okay, alright. Now submit and continue. Alright, this is a new tutorial that we are going to learn tomorrow. For now, for today's work, I guess we have probably finished all those requirements that we need. To do. Okay, so for now, let's say goodbye to each other. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.